Hey, here's your heads up. Perfection. Perfection is the cause of anxiety. Perfection is the cause of fear. Perfection is the cause of I'm not good enough. No, it isn't, by the way. It's the effect. Let's find out what the cause is. And the reason, the intention for having it. And then notice we can find a way to let it go. So you can be your best without the fear of having to be perfect, without the fear of I'm going to be found out or I'm not good enough. Now, if that resonates, and I know it does, because I do, have a listen after this. Hey, this is the Personal Development Unplugged podcast, where we use hypnosis. Yeah, hypnosis. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Don't worry what it is. It's just a mass of processes that we're going to get you to change. Change to let go of anxiety, low self-esteem, and create massive supreme inner confidence. But that's confidence in your competence and competence in your confidence, which means you can do anything and be safe, to enjoy the world as it should be, with you at the helm, creating the life that you want. That's what this podcast is about. You and being the best you could be, singing from your real voice, aligned with your mission, aligned with your passions. That's what it's about. So if you're interested in letting go of anxiety, if you're interested in letting go of fear, guilt, all those blooming syndromes, imposter syndromes, and every little bit of the mind which is negative, then have a listen here, because we've got some wonderful processes and lots of good conversations between you and me to get us both thinking in such wonderful ways. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Just take the chance to have a listen.
This is Personal Development Unplugged with Paul Clough.
In simplicity, there is genius.
In simplicity, there is genius.
Hey, my friends, the longer podcast with me, your old mate. Your old mate. Do you like that term, mate? I don't. I don't know why when people call me mate, I just don't like it. Unless they are my mates, of course. And then it's friend. But that's perfect, and that would be perfect. And that's what we're going to talk about. The anxiety of being bloody perfect. Because there is a lot of anxiety put around being perfect in this world. And the thing about perfection is, it's not perfect. It's just a bloody lie. What? Yeah, being perfect is a lie. There's two reasons, well, there's hundreds of reasons probably, but one of them is you can never be perfect, because you can always be a little bit better, just a little bit. You can always improve on everything. If you stretch yourself, you could really stretch yourself for perfection, and it'll never be there, but you keep stretching and stretching. You know, you've seen people do things and they just want, just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little more, you know, and that's a lie. And it's a lie. How, Cluffy? How is it a lie? Well, I'm going to tell you, my friend. It's a lie because all it's trying to do is protect you. What? Yes, protect you. Protecting you from, go through that in a minute. You're trying to do something. And it has a wonderful positive intention, which is that protection. But, but then there's that other side of the coin, I guess. And it's that'll do. And that's a bit of a lie too, isn't it? That'll do. Because when you just say to yourself, well, that'll do, you can tell your voice goes down. You don't go, oh, well, that'll do. That's good enough. No, it's, well, that'll do. We should just get through that. Because it doesn't show you at your best, though. And that's what we want, to show ourselves at our best. But we don't want the pressure of being perfect. Because that brings on that anxiety, the anxiety to be perfect, for a wonderful reason. And you see, we've all seen perfectionists. I'm not one of them, by the way. I have real trouble with it. I'm not a that'll do person either. I'm a bit of both, I guess. Maybe you are. Are you? You see, we've all seen perfectionists. If I could say the word perfectly well, I'd be better off. But here's the thing. We've all seen perfectionists, and nothing is ever, nearly swore, good enough. Yeah, that's the aim. The aim, no flaws. And do you know what? When they're just a pain in the arse, aren't they? They really are, because nothing is ever good enough. Whether it's what you've done or what they're doing, it's never bloody good enough. There's always more to do. And yes, there is always more to do, but there's a point. There is a point where this is my best. This is my best. You flip to the other side again. Those that'll do brigade. And you see, usually inside, that's expressed as, and I will swear now, so close your ears if you don't like swearing, but it's normally, fuck it, that'll do. Knowing that it won't. Because you just got to a point where you go, oh, then he said it again, that'll do. And really, sometimes that's just putting things off. Just trying to move on to the next thing. Oh, that'll do. See that old voice inflection again? Yeah, so we're in a little bit of a conflict here, aren't we? Where do we go? But let's go back to that perfectionism. So why is perfectionism the belief that it has to be perfect? But it's not the belief of it has to be perfect. You go below that surface, it's the belief of I have to be perfect. And it usually goes with the limiting belief, which is that generalizes into our life because of this. And it's the I'm not good enough limiting belief. Does that ring a bell? Does that resonate? I'm not good enough. I shouldn't be here. They'll find me out. All that stuff comes from this type of thing, I think. But I'm not good enough. And because I'm not good enough, I've got to be perfect. Because I'm not good enough doesn't feel good. And there's that protection. We'll come back to that in a minute, I'm sure. But imagine this. Imagine this. I'm going to tell you a little story. Well, in fact, I'm going to tell you two stories. But just imagine this. As a young child, we, you, me, we do something. And we may want to show it to others. Or we are made to show it to others. And it doesn't quite work. It doesn't quite work. Let me give you a couple of examples. Guy came to see me and he said, I've got to do some public speaking. And it's not the public speaking where I'm just going to be like the best man at a wedding. My career is based on this now because I've progressed through my career. Where I want to be, I'm now getting close to that bit. But this bit means I've got to speak to other people and not just one-to-ones. It's one-to-many. I've got to share the message from my company. And he said, I'm bricking it. I just can't do it. I'm getting filled with anxiety, fear, and everything goes with it. I get that I'm not good enough. I get that imposter syndrome because now I'm in this place and I know I shouldn't be here because I can't do this public speaking. Imagine that. Maybe you can, from your own memories, being that frightened, noticing that you tend to get that foveal vision where you just can't see anything other than the fear. All you hear is that internal voice, well, you'll never be able to do this. What are you going to do when it all goes wrong? Oh, you shouldn't be here. And that feeling in your stomach, maybe it's in the stomach, but generally it's in the stomach, tightening up. Maybe it's in your throat. Sometimes with public speaking, it's in that throat. It really just clamps up and gets, even my voice was tightening up. They're describing it. And we work with this guy. All right, I work with this guy. And as we go through that first session, we start to go below the surface. And what we find out is, and it wasn't traumatic, but it was a little bit traumatic because he was in a choir and he was going to be put forward as the lead in that choir. The soloist, that's the word I'm looking for, the soloist. Young boy. And he said what they did was, as a practice, they wanted him to stand out and literally stand out. They put him on a table in front of everybody. And they said, sing. And what happened? His throat closed up. He got so fearful. He got anxious. and he couldn't sing. He couldn't do anything. And that's it. So you can see the unconscious mind going, oh, I don't like this feeling. I'm going to protect you from this feeling. I'm never going to put you in front of other people again. You're never going to have to do this again. So what I'm going to do is give you this limiting belief of I'm not good enough, because when you feel you're not good enough, you ain't going to do it. So you back away. You find every excuse not to do that thing. Or you make sure you're 100% perfect. And that leads me on to that second one, because in public speaking, it's very hard to be 100% perfect, because what's going to happen? But here's the thing, just before we leave that public speaking, what we said was to his unconscious mind, I understand what you're trying to do for me. That wonderful positive intention of protecting me from never having to feel that feeling again of being standing out and feeling petrified, tired, really so anxious and fearful. But my job, my career depends upon it. But what would happen though if instead of having this fear, we had access to calmness, to clarity, to being able to access everything I know? Because what he told me was, I know this stuff backwards, forwards, sideways, everything. I know my job and I know the message I want to give. It's just I can't bloody say it. So we said to the unconscious mind, wouldn't it be safer? Because you're going to have to do it. You can't back away from this. Wouldn't it be safer to access all the wonderful resources he's got so he could access that message and give it in a way that really connects to people? And it was like a light bulb moment for his unconscious mind, thinking, yes, that's where the real safety is. Oh, and a small process, and boy, he changed. It was like his unconscious mind didn't realize there was this conflict going on. Trying to do his best, didn't realize the conflict. Then when we realize the conflict, it's actually doing the thing that's no longer working, no longer appropriate. It changed because we let it choose the right thing, and we never took away that intention, the positive intention of being safe. We actually find better resources to be safe. So it's a no-brainer for the unconscious mind. There was another example. This lovely lady I coached, she was having real problems. Yet she was one of the best in her field, and her field was a really high field in surgery, I think it was. But she was really high. But she said, I get so nervous all the time. I know I'm going to get found out. I know I'm not good enough. I said, but you excelled when you were at college. You excelled when you went to medical school. You excelled when you've gone in your job. She said, yeah, it doesn't make any difference. So I just said, do you have to be perfect? Oh, she said, Paul, she didn't call me Cluffy. She said, Paul, I have to do, everything I do has to be not perfect, but better than perfect, because I can't be found out. I can't be found that I'm not good enough. And we went just below the surface. And I said, what belief do you really have? Forget this, I'm not good enough. What's below that? What is the cause of I'm not good enough? And she said, damn, I just think I'm stupid. And when I think I'm stupid, I know where it came from now, because that's what I was called when I was a little girl. My brothers called me, oh, you're stupid. Even my dad called me stupid. And I hated that feeling. And I never wanted to be stupid again. So I had to be perfect. And again, we did the same thing. It was the same conflict, because protecting her from that feeling of feeling stupid and having to be a perfectionist put so much pressure on her, so much anxiety, that she was always never going to be at her best. And we just said, wouldn't it be better to access everything you know so you can just be comfortable in doing what you do best? Because in that way, you'll be better than trying to be good enough, trying to be not stupid, trying to be perfect. In fact, you will be your best. And again, that light bulb moment, that aha moment, that small process, the unconscious mind going, damn, that's right. That's how I'm going to get my intention. Because one thing, again, we're not taking away the positive intention of keeping you safe or keeping her safe. We're saying, here's a better way. So you see, it's all about our best friend. Our best friend our unconscious mind, your best friend, your unconscious mind, trying to protect you from that feeling, from the feeling that it had way back when you were smaller, when it had very little wisdom, when it had so little experience, it did the best it could when it did it. And that was to give you that belief, I'm not good enough, or that feeling of fear, that feeling of anxiety. So you'll either not do it or you'll have to be perfect. So that's why, you see these people trying to be perfect. They are a pain in the ass, but they're doing it for the best of intentions. And maybe you are too. Because does this resonate with you deeply? Does it resonate and to say, well, yeah, I do back away from things. I do feel I'm not good enough. I do feel I have to be perfect. And maybe below, if you think about it, below that, the surface of I'm not good enough, you get that real core limiting belief, the one that's trying to do its best for you, trying to get you to be perfect. And the thing is, let's think about it. Really think about it. Can anything really be perfect? Absolutely perfect. Nothing can improve it. Can't, can it? Nothing can be perfect. And in fact, just imagine a world, if it was totally perfect, it would be boring as hell. It really would. There'd be no adventure, there'd be no curiosity, there'd be no nothing. But the thing is, this thing about being perfect ramps up over time. And how does it ramp up? It ramps itself up with the emotions of fear, the emotion of anxiety, just to make sure that you're perfect. And the problem is, it doesn't just stay in that one context. The context that when your unconscious mind first decided to protect you that way. It goes along and goes, oh, here's another type of thing, which is similar. Not the same as that time, but it goes, oh, this is similar. So I better do the same thing. Oh, here's another one. This is similar. And you can see it generalizing. So I bet, and I know I bet. I don't bet, by the way. I hate betting, but I'm going to bet because I know I'm right on this one. If you have that feeling of I'm not good enough, and you have that feeling of I've got to be perfect or I'm stupid or anything like that, go back in time. Don't care what your age is now. Go back in time 5 years. Notice it wasn't as strong or intense as it is now. Go back 10 years. Go back 15 years. Go back 20 years. And notice every time you go back over that time, the intensity begins to lessen, diminish. Because your unconscious mind goes, do you know what? We just got to do the same thing over and over again. And to make sure that you get it, it just makes it more intense. And it kind of works. So if it kind of works, because you never do it or you're perfect, but you still feel that the conflict is there, isn't it? The conflict of that fear now of not being perfect. Total direct conflict. But it just keeps getting more and more intense. And then you get those feelings getting more intense. The limiting belief gets more intense. Just get those pictures in our minds that make it even worse. What will happen if it happens worse? How worse can it get? How bad can it get? What happens if I fail again? Because they're all the things to make you even more perfect, but even make you more frightened, more scared, more fearful, more anxious. And it's when my clients realize, and in fact, my clients sort of get it anyway, but I show it to them, but it's more about allowing your unconscious mind and their unconscious mind to realize there is a direct conflict. Because the feelings your unconscious mind wants to protect you from are the exact same feelings that you have now. They have now. And in fact, you have them more often. It's, that Homer moment. Homer Simpson, that is, not that other guy. Going, really? And when we understand the direct conflict and understand that I really want to be safe too, though. I want to be comfortable, but I also want to be me, successful. In a nice way. That's when your unconscious mind goes, maybe I've got to change. So instead of what will happen if it gets worse, what will happen if it happens again, what will happen if it just continues? Maybe, and this is a question I ask my unconscious mind, their unconscious mind. I'm asking your unconscious mind. How can I do this differently? Maybe feel, for example, confident, comfortable, maybe just the real me, strong, centered, aware, calm. I wonder what it would be like to be comfortable in that situation, to be confident, to be me, that real strong, centered person. And just try it on in your head. Try it on. And just see what happens. Take an instant. Now, let's do it now. Let's do it now. And don't take the biggest negative thing, power charge thing. If 10 is the worst it ever gets, think of a memory that is 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 means we know we've got the right thing, but it's not going to, we can handle it easy peasy because we're working at 10 at the moment. So let's go to a 5, a memory of a 5. And just imagine what, before you run that memory, because you've done it already, I know you have. Just think for a moment, consciously, how would you have liked to have felt rather, not felt. How would you have liked to have felt? What were the emotions or emotion you'd like to have had in that situation instead of the one you had? What were the behaviors you'd have liked to behave like instead of the way you behaved? How would you have liked to talk, maybe, and access all the thoughts and experiences and wisdom that you have right now? And then just, if you imagine you've got them all now, so you've got that maybe comfortable confidence, awareness, just imagine what that feels like now. Imagine being able to access all the thoughts and the words in the right order. And then imagine when you have that, what would it be like? Imagine it now, going through that memory with these feelings instead of the old way, with these thoughts, these inner pictures in your mind of the successful completion, being able to access all the words that you need and have the most appropriate behaviors. And as you go through, notice how different it is, because it's going to be absolutely awesomely different. Even though I don't like the word awesome because I use it too much, but how different it will be, how good it will be, how comfortable it will be. And then notice how safe you feel and notice that successful completion. It may not be the total perfect success that you were looking for, but you didn't get it anyway. But notice how much better it is. And then, that's one of them. And you can do this a few times to different memories. Notice how you wanted to have felt, the emotions you would like to have had, the behaviors you'd have liked to behaved with, and the words and the pictures in your mind. And you could do that on another memory. Just notice each time that you feel even safer, more comfortable. Now, I like with my clients to add what I call counterexamples, times in the past when you've actually done this. So we're not having to imagine what it would be like. You go, well, actually, there is a memory where I did have all those beliefs, behaviors, and emotions, those good things. And it was good fun. It was successful. I achieved what I wanted to do, even though I may have had doubts, but I did achieve it. I strived to be my best. And I must have felt comfortable. I must have been safe because I didn't feel unsafe, because you never know you're safe, but you always know when you're unsafe because your unconscious mind takes over. And then you go, well, hang on, what would happen if we use those? And in fact, you say to your unconscious mind, in each one of those counterexamples, and I suggest you do 2 or 3, and write the buggers down, describe them in only a matter of 3 or 4 lines of writing, because when you describe them, you have to remember that memory again. Remember the feelings, remember the thoughts you had, the behaviors you had, and what it felt like to I'll say it again, successfully complete that thing that you did. And when you write them down, you have to access those beliefs as well. So write them down. No excuses. I haven't got time, Cluffy. No, you've got time to spend 2 minutes just to write down one memory at a time. And then, just a few minutes a day, go back and look at those counterexamples and then put it into what you're going to maybe looking to do in that day, the day days ahead. When you look at your diary and you're going, well, I've got that meeting to go to, or I'm seeing that person, or I've got this to do. Look at those counterexamples and notice how good it would be if you had those, and really how much safer you'd be when you had those resources. I call them resources, the skills, capabilities. So you can put it into that environment because you'll believe in yourself. And then you can even imagine being even better and say to your unconscious mind, this or something better, because this is safer. This actually keeps that intention of keeping me safe and learning and striving and being the best I could be. That's the nearest to perfection you're going to get, is to be and perform at the best you could be. Performing life at the best you can be is a wonderful place to be. Now just do that a few minutes a day. Or if this is a big deal for you, like that guy who had to public speak, or speak in public would be a better way to say it, Cluffy, if you could say it. Or that lady who had to be at the best game all the time. Just take a few minutes. Well, what they did, I lost my head. I lost my thought. They came for one-to-one. One-to-one is with a therapist. So go and book a therapist. You know what I say is, get someone who's got masterful hypnosis, who is a master practitioner or practitioner of NLP, and is a master practitioner or practitioner of timeline therapy. Because you get that threesome together, like the holy trinity of therapy. For me, anyway, because that's where I was trained too. And I just know it works. Get someone like that, work with that, and do this as well, because this is going to help and speed up that one-to-one anyway. And if it's only a little bit, do this, because in the end, what happens is your unconscious mind will do it for you. That's all it is. Your unconscious mind will because it did it in the past. It tried to find a way to protect you, to keep you safe. It will now go, this is a better way. And your unconscious mind has to choose the best way. It has to protect you. It has to. So why would it choose, when it knows there's better ways, choose a way that is not as good? It's not going to do that. And then it uses that thing to generalize it, because it will start saying, well, look, there's a similar context I can be good at and comfortable at, and use those runners. Here's another one. I can be good at that too, because it's more comfortable and more safer. So all you really have to think of is, and this is like the sort of summary, how do you want to be in that situation? See it, feel it, notice how safe it is, and say to your unconscious mind, this or something better. That this or something better, I think, came from Shakti Gawain from Guided. She did a lot of guided imagery stuff a long time ago. Lovely book, if you ever can find an old copy of it. Shakti Gawain. Lovely guided meditation she had. But I'm sure it was this or something better. I got it from her. And that's years and years ago. I still use it today. Because that's all I want, is this or something better. You see, coming back to my meta view of all of this is, I just want you to be your best. Whatever level your best is. You can always improve your best. But if we can be at our best, we can always be confident then that we can learn from it and get better. Not perfect, but better. So I want to be my best, this or something better. Because that's all you have to be. If you just set your intention before you did everything, I want to be my best, perform at my best at this thing, this or something better. And when you think about that, and what we've said about being able to access those things, doesn't that feel comfortable? Think about it now. Just even if you didn't do those little, I'm sure you didn't do those visualizations with me, because you're going to do them anyway, aren't you? But just thinking about it, being able to access all those skills, doesn't it just make you feel better, make you feel more comfortable? You know, it makes it that it's okay. I can do this. I've got this. They're wonderful beliefs to have, by the way. This is okay. I'm okay. I'm perfect. Not perfect. Sorry. I'm okay is very nearly perfect as a positive, supportive belief. It's I'm okay. I'll be okay. I'll get through this. I can be my best. I can be my best. Be awesome, wouldn't it? Yeah. So there you go. There you go. And if you want some hypnosis, just to help you through this, go to, paulcloughonline.com/podcast. And there's 55 blooming NLP and hypnosis recordings for you. Could call them tracks, but they're recordings for all manner of things. And it's all 100% free, complimentary. And they're downloadable. So you can put them on any device you blooming want, take it wherever you want, and just relax and let it all happen. But you have to do it. Even when you listen to hypnosis, you have to set your intention to do it. Because no, you can sit here and go, hey, Paul, Cluffy, what you said makes perfect sense. Or you could say, hey, Cluffy, what you said makes perfect sense because I already know this stuff. Then why are you feeling fearful? Why are you trying to be perfect? Because you can know this stuff, but knowing it means nothing, does it? I have the same problem. I'm going to talk about it in another podcast. Knowing stuff and not doing it means fuck all. Because you're not using all the wonderful skills that not God gave you, but you gave yourself. Maybe God did, I don't know. I'm not religious in that respect. It's just that you chose to use those skills, to learn those skills. But you have to use them, not just know them. It's all in the doing. Becoming a master of, because you can be a master. I talk about this all the time. You can be a master of anything when you know what to do and you do what you know to be your best. So do that. Find those hypnosis tracks. So, the 90 seconds of hypnosis tracks. Why have I put hypnosis tracks on a separate website? Well, it's so simple, really. I wanted you to have them all in one place, so you can look through them all. You can find the particular one you want. I've even made them downloadable, so you can put them on any of your playing devices that you prefer. You don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need the iTunes or whatever. You can put them anywhere you like. You can even burn them onto disk if you want. Where do you get them? Well, there you go. I told you it's paulcloughonline.com/podcast. If you're worried about your email address, please don't be, because they stay totally safe with me. I only use them to send you out that email and give you access. Simple as that. I send you a link, a special link, so you and only you can access those hypnosis tracks, because I want them just for you. And the other thing about this is you've taken responsibility. I don't want to make these open to everyone, just random. You have taken responsibility to listen and be part of this community of personal development. And I want to help you. I want to help you personally to get your dreams, your goals. And therefore, I'm giving you these tools, these protocols, these paradigms, whatever you want to call them, but in deep hypnosis. So just enjoy. Have more fun than you can stand with hypnosis. And I know we're always advised when you hear about what to say on a podcast, don't give too many requests. But I am. Because one of those requests is go to hypnosis track. That's for you. Now the other request is, did this make sense? Because if it didn't, please let me know, because I need to get better myself. I want to be my best. So if I communicated this in a way that wasn't quite clear, maybe it was confusing, please let me know by emailing me at feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. If you feel there's something, positive critique, something I could do better, let me know. Same email. If there's something that you would like me to share with you, maybe a process to help you through this type of stuff, email me, feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. Share your thoughts. That would be great, because sharing, as we know, is caring. And if you cared about your friends, your loved ones, the people in your work, your vicinity, your little world, you'd share this podcast, wouldn't you? Because you would. You would. You will. And you don't have to share it perfectly, by the way. but you could share it in with the best of intentions. I always get it in, don't I? Anyway, I hope that this has made perfect sense and it has inspired you to know that you can just let go of that anxiety, let go of that fear, let go of that I'm not good enough, let go of that I'm an imposter here, they'll find me out, and all that bloody crap, and strive to be your best, feeling safe. Because that's what this podcast is all about. Performing at our best and feeling safe and getting the rewards for it. And making this world a better place, because when you're in a better place, the people around you are in a better place, and our little old world gets into be a better place, and our little old world needs thy help. Anyway, have more fun than you can stand. Because it's time to fly, my friend. Bye-bye.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.